What's up, Pack? I did longer on the Pack today. So we are here for another episode of the Ask the Pack Leader Show. Adam just told me the episode, and I forgot already. It's number 39. I remembered. Okay, so we are here today.
Hey, that's how old you are.
And I'm 39 years old, by the way. And I'm turning 40 on July 15th, so feel free to send your gifts to the Matty Ranch. Now, on to the show. So today we have Akash on from Dog Mantra. His dog _ mantra _ And we have Reyna on today, who's going to be asking us a question. So why don't we go to Akash first? Welcome to the show, man.
Thank you so much, Steve, for having me here. It's like I said, it's great privilege and pleasure,
Hell yeah,
being
man.
on the show. I've been watching this on your postcards and on YouTube, it is, right?
Yes.
So I've not watched all of them, but I've watched a few, and I was like just wondering, maybe you noticed me, because we had, like I said, you were the second person I actually started following after Caesar, and I was like trying to figure out people who are actually into this stuff.
Right.
And I followed your journey. I've also followed your journey with Nico from the time you got him.
Yes.
So learned a lot of stuff, got to know a lot about it, and you having me here, it's a great honor.
That's amazing.
So thank you
man.
for that.
Yeah. So I remember, I don't know when it was, but it was probably like, I would have to go back into your stuff, but it was maybe 2 years ago. I think you had you had put comment or something on my stuff, and I was like, let's see what this guy's doing over there. Cause I'm always interested to see, like, same thing that you were doing as I'm interested in the same thing too. Let's see what other people are doing. So I saw your stuff and I was like, wow, this guy's just it seems like he's has the courage to do this. He understands it. He's getting the energy thing. And I'm like, let's see what he's doing. And I was going through your journey, and it's amazing to see now, like, what you're doing now with what you're calling it, the Dog Psychology and Workout Center in India. By the way, for anyone who doesn't know, Akash is in India doing this stuff. He's not in America. So he's doing this stuff. And where in India are you?
I'm from Mumbai.
Mumbai, right?
Mumbai.
Yeah. Got you.
Mumbai.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And what's it like in Mumbai?
It's pretty humid all the time, being in a coastal region. But it's also a lot of chaos in Mumbai.
Yeah.
It's the most heavily crowded city here in India, and plus a lot of stuff keeps going on in and around here. And the dog situation has just boosted, from the past 2 years since the lockdown. And the amount of anxiety cases that I've got in the past 1 year is crazy.
I know.
So we just call them lockdown babies.
Yeah, it's wild. Like, we've seen the same thing here. It's like, it seems like whatever country it is like, because we had a global issue, right? So the global issue, all the humans are dealing with it, and how humans deal with it, and the dogs get the result of that. So we're seeing the same thing in America. It's tons of anxiety, and it's separation anxiety about the humans, like anxiety about everything combined, So it's very interesting that's happening over there. So what else? What are the plans for you over in India? What do you want to go with this?
So if I have to get into, I've never discussed this with anyone as such, but I would like to open up here. My plan is to bring something like Dog Whisperer here in India. Get the media involved.
I love it.
We have a lot of lack of awareness, like compared to USA. So I've done, like, I just kind of got a report, like in USA there are almost, how many dogs? 150 million dogs?
Something like that, yeah. It's like in like the 150 million or something like that, yeah.
Yeah, and the human population would be around 400 million, 400 to 500 million.
Yep, around that.
Compared to here in India, we have 1.2 billion population, and it would be a little more than that probably. And the dog population is just around 50 million or so.
Oh, wow.
So
way more people.
Big gap in, there's a big gap in society. People don't know what to do. People don't know what is dog training, what is dog psychology is a different concept.
Yeah.
Even like the word, people don't know what it is about. Okay, so when I've opened, it's not just me, it's my partner Siddharth. He's a dog behavior aspirant. It's his place, the site that is there that we've been doing, and he's been a great help. He was one of my clients, and he attended one of my outdoor sessions where we used to do 30-40 dogs together, and he kind of got intrigued, and he was like, okay, come on, let's do it. I have a place, let's do something. So we kind of named it Dog Psychology and Workout Center first in India, having a workout kind of situation going on over there, that we do a lot of activities of agility, back walks, backpacking, flirt pole if required, treadmills. So these are also for the dogs, city dogs who are not getting proper kind of outlet for their energies.
Right.
Okay. And And the kind of situation here is that people, when they hear even see the board, they're like, what exactly is this? They figure out the workout aspect of it, but they're like, is it a training center, or is it some kind of a shop, or is it like you all do some kind of training humans or something like that?
So by putting the word workout in there, it got their mindset into, oh, we have to work I do need to work out my dog and do that. And then you can go to like, hey, there's this psychology thing. We should look at this. I see. It's very smart.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Yeah.
And then it looks like you're busy as hell over there.
Oh, since the time the place has opened up, I hardly get time. So right now, I was actually running my way through. So I had an online session at 8:30 p.m. here. I finished it up at my girlfriend's place because I was running late. My two-wheeler got punctured. My bike's tire. So it got me kind of late. I was just here 2 minutes. I got ready and I just.
You look good, bro. You're looking good. And what time is it over there right now?
It's to be precise. It's 10:47 p.m.
There you go. 10:47 p.m. And for the record, we're at 12:17 p.m. over here. Or p.m. Yeah. Awesome. That's amazing.
It's the next day over here.
So another thing I want to ask you is, have you? I'm sure you have, but have you heard of the guy Jiddu Krishnamurti?
Sorry, who?
Jiddu, Jiddu, and then it's Krishnamurti.
That's a Jiddu Krishna. No, I haven't.
When you get off, so I've been really, really, really getting into him. So he's an Indian guy. He passed away, I think, in like the 2000s or something like that. And he's it's all about understanding of life. It's really, really fascinating to see it. So you could just look him up. Just being from India, I think it's someone that you would definitely be interested in seeing. And he like toured around all around the world throughout his lifetime, trying to explain to people like the meaning of life. And it's very nature-esque. And I've shared it with Caesar, and Caesar said, he's like, that guy understands nature. He goes, that guy, because there's actually a video I sent him. It's him talking about life and philosophy and all that, right? With scientists from America, right? Psychiatrists and philosophers and all this shit, right? And he's explaining to him, he's like, those guys, he said, those scientists can't go with dogs yet because they're all brain intellect in the mind. He goes, but that guy's instincts. He's in nature, so he can go with dogs already, and we just got to show him what to do with them. These guys have to work on their energy first and understand life first before we go there. So it's really, really fascinating to see that.
Right.
But I'll share it with you after we get off. I'll send you a message with that guy on it.
Let's bring Reyna on.
Yes. Okay, let's bring on Reyna. So Reyna's our guest today, who's going to be asking us a question, and we're going to be helping her out today and seeing how we can help her with her journey in life, whether it's dogs, business, whatever. So Reyna,
you there?
let's bring you on.
Hi.
What's up, Reyna?
Steve.
Hi.
Grateful.
This is like a dream come true.
It's amazing.
I'm from Los Angeles, California. Right now it's 9:19
There you go.
a.m.
So we're on all different times, but we're all connected. How crazy is that?
Exactly.
And surprisingly, I have California written on my sweatshirt.
Oh,
There you go.
nice.
That's right. And by the way, we did not produce that. That's just all energy happening. It's all we're all connected. That's why.
It was connecting us.
That's right. All right, Reyna. So how can we help you today, Reyna?
Well, I've been really connected with dogs my entire life, ever since I can remember. And like seeing Caesar on the Dog Whisper the first time, that just blew my mind, just him working with dogs. And right then and there, like I told myself, that's something that I want to do. But I didn't know exactly how to go about that, especially since I was that young. And when I got my first dog in high school, that's when I started implementing his teachings. And I didn't I was just testing the waters out to see where things would go. And,
you were curious. You were curious about it.
Yeah, exactly.
By the way, can I say one thing? I think curiosity is an enormous thing for people. And it's not talked about enough. Because think about too, we are also told by our parents and people and stuff. I wasn't actually, believe it or not, but because my parents are like kids, they act like still. But like a lot of people grow up, mature, I'm like, to me, that grow up thing is like, stop being so curious. Stop looking at things for the first time. You know what I mean? Just get a job and go to work like we all told you to do. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. Anyway, I just want to say that. Go ahead.
No, exactly. And leading off into that, now I'm at college. I'm studying music education at Cal State Long Beach.
Awesome.
While all that's great, I really want to keep honing my skills in dog psych. And I've gone on pack walks, I've gone on workshops, I've been gratefully been able to meet Andre and Calvin Milan and take my dogs with them.
Yep.
And because of that, I've seen my relationship build up with the dogs that I have now, and it's just been so amazing to see. And right now I have like clients on and off. I'm just starting out, so even though like I have most of the teachings in the back of my head, like just implementing it physically, explaining it to the clients, like trying to find ways to explain myself and show help people understand. That's my biggest hurdle, because I don't want to like mess anything up per se, or like say the wrong thing, or because I'm still learning,
Right.
Yeah.
We all are learning. Learning never stops.
It's the learning never ends, just so you know, Reyna. Also,
No,
like
yeah.
as Akash is saying, it's just learning is nonstop, never ending. I would say also there's two separate things there. So one is the understanding, right, of the dogs and dog psychology. The second part is actually going in and teaching it to others. Believe it or not, I actually just recently had a conversation with Caesar about this, and we were talking about like understanding it, feeling it, and being is one thing, right? So there's many people who I know and dog trainers and stuff like that who can be with a dog, and they could have an amazing relationship with a dog. Can they teach it to another person of how to do it? They struggle with that. They create conflict. People feel attacked. People don't understand. Their words don't make sense, and they're not aware of what the humans do. So they've been able to do with the dog, but now with the person. So to me, that's like a secondary skill of teaching it. And who do I loved hockey, ice hockey. Akash is like, what the hell are you talking about? Ice? What ice? What do you mean, right? But ice hockey, there was Wayne Gretzky. He was the greatest hockey player of all time. And then when he went to go coach, he didn't have much success coaching. So he was the greatest of all, but couldn't coach that well, right? So that's a secondary thing of really being able to coach. And to me, it's really being able to understand yourself. And to me, you're doing that right now. So you're in the journey of doing it. One way, and I would like to hear what Akash is doing out there, but one way that could be is that in the beginning, now that you're in school, instead of charging people or charging them maybe a lower amount of money for your time and explaining to them that like, a lot, but you're learning this stuff. You're on the thing. I'd like to help you. How I did it in the beginning was I helped my friends and family a lot in the beginning. Because there was nothing on it. There was like really like if it didn't work out, it didn't work out. It was a friend and family. It didn't help with the dog. So I did a lot of that stuff. And then I did a lot of volunteer stuff. I would help people for free just to see. Because I was learning and I didn't want them to have to pay for my learning. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. So that's one way to do it there. And for here, what my model is here, what I do with this stuff is I try to charge people for no information. The only thing I charge for is my time. Right. So if people want my time, this is at this point in my career also, I would say also, right? So there's a lot of people who want my time right now. It's just the way it is. So I have to charge for that time, because when I'm doing time with one person, that means I can't share with the community, which is what I really want to be doing. However,
right.
I understand that the money thing is I need that is a utility of humanity at this point, so I can go share with more people. You see it? So yeah, that's what I would say is really... I felt some fear, some insecurity when you were talking.
Yes.
Yeah, which was about I don't want to tell them the wrong thing. I don't want to make a mistake. But I'll tell you that what I learned from when I was prior to really doing it this way was I was so concerned about making mistakes because I was living external and I was so worried about what other people would think of me. And I was worried about what the wrong people would think of me too, what their opinions were. When I started getting more into like business and being around more productive people in growth, positive-minded people, you start realizing it's way different with those people. They're like, yeah, make mistakes, try shit. What do you mean? Keep going forward. It's okay to make mistakes, make errors. Everybody does it, So they're way more in that mentality. You start realizing, oh, wow, that's really what it was. So that's why I like to share it, because I was like in that. And then now I get the privilege, or whatever you want to call it, to be able to be around more of these people now. But I also think that I kind of like created that myself. And I think you can create that yourself by being it. Sorry, I tend to do this because when we're filming this, what I'm looking at right now on the Zoom is just you, right? And then I'm like, oh shit, Akash, let's go. What do you have to say on this one? My bad, bro.
Yeah. So I absolutely believe what you say. And one more thing I like to address here is I don't want to pull anyone down here, but what I have experienced, and I guess we had spoken about this, about the certifications aspect.
Yes.
You know, the difference I've seen with people who've actually studied and done it with experience, more with instincts, they've actually dived into it. So, like you said, even though you're in America, I'm here in India, the journey is quite similar.
Very
So,
similar.
when I said it was 10 years back, I got my Indy, she wasn't going out at all. She was petrified of going out. We tried a couple of trainers. One was the really old conventional ones who hit and all that.
Yeah.
We didn't want that. The other one was positive reinforcement only. They said the end result or the end conclusion was put her on NX, this thing, NX, okay, which is anti-anxiety pills.
Yeah.
Okay. We weren't convinced. We weren't convinced at all. And then suddenly one day, it wasn't something that I had planned. Okay. I searched a lot for it, but at that time, there were a lot of limitations also 10 years back. The internet and mobiles were not that. It was PC or Mac. Right. So what happened is I was at my cousin's place, and we were just going through some dog videos, and there was this most aggressive breeds, one video of Nat Geo. And on that we saw Cesar Milan, and we didn't had any intention of kind of thinking about it. It was just like, oh, let's see which breeds are most aggressive breeds.
Yep.
And I just saw him speaking. He was talking about dog psychology, energy, this, that, and I was like, there's something different about it.
Yep.
I've never seen this.
Yep.
And that made me completely dive into it. And then that 1 year I completely studied. I understood the pack theory. I got all the information I could gather around. So the books weren't available. I downloaded the ebook from a lot of pirated places. I kind of got from this thing.
It's all good.
But I got into it. And then I kind of picked up another dog from my friends later. I got a happy-go-lucky middle of the pack guy, and he helped me a lot. He passed away when he was 7. He was a Labrador Retriever. He had a heart condition, but he helped a lot. And from then it all started. And when it started, like you said, it was all voluntary work. And the best place to volunteer was shelters.
Yep.
Because there were so there were all these free roaming animals, and I didn't had to kind of, I was not that accountable, if something went wrong, I was a little free-minded over there. And that's where I developed my skills with dogs first.
You're open-minded, right? You're open-minded. Yes, correct. It's huge.
Yeah. And I was always people's person. Then when I started college, I deliberately took hospitality studies as my graduation subject, is because they say you require a lot of tolerance to be in that field, because it's all about managing people.
Yeah.
And you have to tolerate people. So I did that. I kind of aced it, and it was great. And after that, lockdown happened. Before that, it was all just a passionate thing. It was just a thing which I used to do as a hobby. I used to help out people for free. But when the lockdown came, there were no plans of me doing this full time, But somewhere down the line, COVID helped me. Dog Mantra came into existence, and I got into it full time. And I'm so glad that I got it.
There's plans of the universe for you to do it, but not your individual plans. You surrendered to it. So when people surrender to what it is, then the universe is going to put them in the right position. But too many people, in my opinion, are like, I want, which is almost like translation for like, I don't have. And that's your law of attraction. You're saying, I don't have. And the universe is like, great, you don't have. A couple things I wanted to say there too. When you said the open-minded thing, to me, that is something that is enormous. Like, it's so big to me. I said curiosity before. This also is open-minded, because what I find is people come, especially in the dog world, I'm sure you experience this shit, is you come for the people who claim that they know, or you come with people who, in my opinion, are the open-minded, who say, I don't know, and I'm learning and I'm exploring with all of you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I might have more experience and more knowledge because of time and being with them, my association with Caesar, all that. But we're still all in the. I don't ever say that I know dogs everything. I know it all. I know people. No, I'm on the journey. I'm open-minded. I'm still learning. What did we talk about at the beginning? Learning. We're still learning. I'm still learning, and I'm learning and sharing with everybody. So I don't see myself as authority over you or I don't see Caesar as an authority over me. In human world, yes, he is. However, in nature world, he would tell you too, I'm not an authority over you. No one's an authority over anybody. In human world, yes, but not here. And there was one other one. There was something else there, but I gotta get my notepad so I remember this from now. I was saying, like, I'm doing my best. This is my growth too, is when others are talking, to just stop talking myself, like, and just listen. So I want to write things down and unpack like certain things. But that was the things that really popped in my head when you were saying that. So Reyna, did that make sense? What Akash was saying there about the volunteer work, about shelters, working with shelters, about being open-minded, all that stuff?
No, yeah, definitely. That's helped a lot. And actually, going back to what I've been saying, like right now, I'm primarily focusing on like boarding dogs. So I'm not like advocating myself to like training, but I am using that time that I have with the dogs to learn for myself, read the dog's energy. Are they back of the pack, middle, front of the pack? And I use my dogs, especially my older dog, who's been such a great influence on everyone that's come through our doors. Now that I've had more time with him, like spent time growing in a relationship, I see him as almost like an imitation of daddy, you know, as almost of an imitation of Junior, because he has that sense, that being of just being who he is, you know. And
they all, by the way, they all do. Yeah. They all do.
Yeah.
It's just that how much of this has the human influence them to not be that.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? And I know what you're saying. What you're really saying is that individual dog. Let's just say we all did the same with that dog and did it the right way. Even with that individual is over the top, like really good in that scenario. Yeah. That's like Nico for me. Like I've done all the right things with him, but like he has a special thing for me with dogs and puppies specifically. He's excellent, amazing with it. You know, with people, he gets a little excited. He's not that great with them, you know? So anyway, that's what I was trying to bring that point up, but yeah.
No, yeah. And so like just like boarding dogs and like just that's been helping me figure out this dog psych aspect without like
that's great.
Yeah.
You know, it's something I haven't mentioned that I did too. I like, so that was like kind of the progression. I got into dog walking. That's what I did. I was dog walking. So I was charging people a cheap ass price to just walk their dog. And the amount of knowledge, information, experience, wisdom that I got from just walking dogs was incredible. Like to me, just walking them is, if someone say, what's the best thing you could do with your dog? I'm like, go for a walk. Walk is the thing. And Caesar talks about this all the time, but most people think it's just to exercise them. I'm like, no, this is all relationship building time. This is connecting with your dog, you know, communication with the dog, leadership, follow, all that is happening throughout a walk. So that's what I did. I did a bunch of walks and got really good with the walking. And then I got a glimpse into what people were doing for boarding. And I was like, what? I was like, so I'll just offer boarding to my walking clients. I only had a few at the time. I did the same thing. So when it would be time to like feed a dog, just like Akash did, I was on Dog Whisperer and watching, oh, look, feed a dog and calmness. So wait and follow. Okay, so I have to do this. So let me hold this let me hold this bowl of food while this dog is sitting right here in its kennel. And let's see how long it takes. Let's just watch this shit. You know, he does this. If I go like this, he moves like that. If I start to, all those things start happening. And it's like, so because it really is the feeling is the understanding. So this is what I see happen. Oh, and this was the other point, Akash. I just remembered it. Of what happens is the feeling is the understanding. There's many of these people who go out and get certifications. They read books. They watch videos. They listen to the ideas and knowledge of others, not their own, because they haven't gone through it. They don't actually really work with dogs that much. And then they go out there and start screaming at people like Akash, like me, like you, and telling you you're doing it wrong and you don't know. But in reality, they're unaware that they don't even know because they've been in intellectual world only. They're not feeling it. They're not in instincts, like Akash said. They're not feeling it. So how can you how can you tell me how to walk a dog if you never really walked a dog? How can you tell me you should never use an e-collar if you don't even understand the tool? You know what I'm saying? Like, how can you say that positive reinforcement is the only thing that works with dogs? You obviously don't know, haven't been around enough dogs. Because anyone who's actually looking at it and truly in the moment can see. It's so obvious. It's abundantly obvious. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. But there's a lot of things of the human, in my opinion, that are clouding the vision of what is right in front of us. Like, you can see it, Akash. You can see it. Like, when you were the dog, it's like, and Reyna, you could see it. It's like, this is working. This dog feels balanced. This feels good. This feels, I can feel it. I can understand this shit. But then they're telling you can never tell your dog no. It's like, what? That makes no sense. Or like you said, the other side, just spank them or just blast them on the e-collar or hit them on the prong. Yeah. It's like, That's not going to do shit either. I mean, you can make them fearful, I guess, but good enough.
Yeah.
Just a heads up, you have him behind you.
It's lack of understanding. It's lack of understanding.
Yes, which is it. Right.
It's
So
lack of understanding. Yeah, and also, sorry to interrupt you. Just
No,
wanted
go
to
ahead,
add
go
on
ahead.
to it. Is that the first time I heard about the controversy and all this aspect of it, because I was never into that. I just looked at one side. Then I started researching the other side as well. And I guess there's this thing going on around the world, is that are dogs pack animals? It's a big question mark.
yeah.
Okay. So for that purpose, around like 5 years back, I guess, it was one of my friends. And we spent a couple of weeks, a little more than that, spending nights on the streets observing dogs.
That's fantastic.
They
By the way,
pack
that's the
animals
greatest
more
work of
and-
all. I would tell you, Akash, as much as you can possibly do that, to see dogs in their natural environment like that without as little human fucking influence as possible is the greatest. That's what I did when I went with Caesar me and Caesar, Yoa, the guy in Puerto Rico, and Art and Adam and Hyro. We all went to Puerto Rico after the hurricane. And we got to see dogs in their primal, like a resort. It was a rescue that had 800 dogs there on their own, loose. It was wild. And we were there. And to be there with Caesar, and like we were looking at it, we were with the puppies and watching how they eat, and they throw the food out and who gets to eat first and who's doing that. You're 100% right that those people, I can guarantee you, have never experienced that. Because there's no way you can look at that, in my opinion, and be in the moment and not see what's happening in front of you. But if you're Sorry, really quick. If you're coming with what these other people told me dogs are, then I'm coming with a clouded vision of what I'm actually looking at, right? But I want to hear about what you experienced on the streets. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was more like so even y'all experienced something which was in a reserve, right? Here it's like I guess even for Caesar in Mexico and all the other third world countries, you have free roaming dogs, and there is minimum human influence. So at least on our urban streets here in Mumbai, there's more of human influence in the daytime. That's why they didn't do it during the day. During the nights, they are most active. During the day, they are in hiding or they are just trying to be away. But there is also so much difference in their behavior. The dogs who live on city streets and dogs who are in the countryside living there. So the countryside dogs have more confidence in them. They are more assertive in nature. They are more upfront about what they're doing. You'll see them. See, in countryside here in India, at least, and I've honestly seen that dogs literally unite the world.
Yes.
Because I've had conversations with other people, from other countries, and I've seen that it's almost so similar. It's always similar. So at the countryside, people don't actually keep dogs, So this free roaming dogs, they just feed them. These dogs be on their farms and all. They're protecting the farm. They're protecting the sheep. They're protecting their cattle.
Their jobs.
That's what the dogs do. There's jobs, yeah. And the only thing that farmer does is feed the dog. They have this huge kind of they've dug a place in line, and they just keep pouring food. All the dogs come. There are no fights. You won't see dogs challenging each other for the food. It's all calmness. They eat their food, and they just scatter away on the farmland, and you'll see them protecting the place. There's no aggression.
There's order and structure.
There's order. Yes. And in city, what happens is it's more of protecting the territory. Here, their job is scavenging and protecting the territory.
And protecting the what? What was he saying? Protecting what?
Territory.
Territory. Got it.
Yeah. So because here, and the dogs in city are more sensitive. So even in front of the pack, I've seen they have some amount of sensitivity in them because it's a matter of survival. Because here, especially in India, animal abuse is to another extent.
Yeah.
With certain people. So dogs are thrashed, and we don't have very strong laws. Okay.
For animals, right? Yeah.
We have amazing welfare for animals, amazing NGOs, but the laws are still not that great.
Yeah.
Where people would be scared to kind of, harm an animal.
Yeah. I mean,
right?
Believe it or not, we don't really have that much here too either, just so you know. Like wasn't it like the last presidency that they finally passed like it actually became a felony to abuse an animal?
I think it was recent.
Like it just happened, I think, in the last presidency that happened. Like, so that it's just happening in America. You know what I'm saying? But yeah.
Yeah.
But sorry, I interrupted you yet again.
Made more aware no. So that's what the world needs to be more aware and more compassionate towards other creatures. We are so into our materialistic lifestyle that we forget that we owe something to this world.
It's fascinating as he says this shit because like this is like so weird because it just is that you're in India, but like what you just said there reminded me of the guy I just told you about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it just reminded me so much about it was like a life lesson type thing right there that was said. It's like just being able to see it that way. You know what I mean? Like looking at being more compassionate to animals. Cause you're right. What we're so consumed with what's the next material, where's the next place I need to go. It's just this constant movement of the mind of going to the next thing. And it's never enough. And that's why we're getting frustrated. And now the tech is like taking it to a new level. It's just like boom, 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 boom. And animals are like, can you guys slow the fuck down, humans? Because you're going to what I really feel like dogs sometimes look at humans and are like, do you guys understand? How do you not see the danger of what your species is doing? Of focusing on all this money and all this tech and being more indoors and more anger and more frustration and less nature and all that. And we're like, we're so smart, but we're so stupid at the same time. I should say ignorant. We're so smart, but so ignorant. Our intelligence is super high, but at the same time, we're so stupid. Really, like maybe we have the least intelligence out of all the species on the planet. I actually think about that. You know what I mean? Like, what is intelligence? Let's get into that. Because that's what that guy will talk about. And we would sit there, or you would sit there for 30 minutes and we just talk about, let's describe intelligence. Is intelligence,
we did that yesterday.
yeah, like is intelligence the Zuckerbergs, the Bezos, these guys like, and who can acquire billions in money? Or is the intelligence the people like us who are getting more back into nature, who are opening the minds, who are getting more connected and seeing what life is really about? You see what I'm saying? So we just had this, that's again, this humanity thing. We have this preconceived notions that all these people are smart. And, oh yeah, those are those nature dog weirdo guys. And they talk about energy and whatever, you know? But in reality, it's like not whatever. Because and the best part about it for me is that I lived that lifestyle. I did it. I lived the American way, focused on money, power, fame. I did it to the T. I mean, I was in New York City. I should bring some of the people I used to hang out with on here so they could describe what I was like back then. Completely different person. And I can assure you that the nature way of living is not even close of how much better it is to live. It's so full, you know? It's so free to describe it that way. Huh?
It's fulfilling.
Fulfilling, correct. It's like life can be fulfilling. So, Reyna, what are you thinking about all this?
No, like actually going back to the intellectual world and instinctual world, that's actually been on my mind the past few weeks, actually, as yesterday was my birthday. You know, I turned 25.
Nice.
Happy belated, by the way.
Thank you. And
This is your birthday present, by the way.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Another thing that energy created for us.
That's
Go ahead.
Yeah, which makes everything like more fulfilling.
Yeah.
I mean, anyway, so I've been like contemplating on that, like right now as I'm going back in person to school. And well, I'm doing that intellectual part, right? Getting my education, getting my bachelor's degree. I'm learning how to teach, you know? I'm learning how to teach music to kids, to middle schoolers, high schoolers. And so that's been helping me get into that mode of breaking things down and explaining things through music.
Nice.
That's great.
That's awesome.
I just need to practice that with the dog psych aspect. But also what I've been noticing is that just that balance between school and taking care of my animals back home. Like it's been so difficult for me because even though like I tried to create schedules and all, I just never follow through. And that's my biggest hurdle also, like following through. Besides that, what I also noticed is that the more that I'm focusing on these two aspects of my life, I'm noticing that there's so much common ground, but there's also so much difference. And just taking that time to go back into nature and focus in on myself and the animals, that's helped me grow so much in my inner self and help me find confidence in myself and help me just understand who I am, you know? Like I've noticed with the dogs that I'm like more of a back of the pack person. I like observing things. I like listening more than explaining. But with school, it's helping me bring more of that front of the pack, you know, like
learning all the
explaining things.
positions.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
You have to be able to understand all the positions. This is what people don't think. They think like, oh, Steve's just like the front with dogs, right? Well, yeah. But with them, yes. When I'm in Steve, we're not in dog mode, business mode, whatever. Oh, let's just say in business mode, I'm front, and with the dogs, I go to the front. But also with dogs, I go to the middle. I play with them, and then a lot of times I actually, believe it or not, go to the back when they're not feeling me, and I sit back and I watch and I study them. What are they doing? So I'm like really observing in observation mode, right? So I think it's really good. Caesar talks about this a lot, of people being able to practice all positions. So you'll have your natural position, and if you feel that's the back, there's nothing wrong with that. There's a lot of power in the back, right?
Yeah.
And this is what people don't understand too. Of a back of the pack can be a very powerful animal, right? That can be very dangerous. A back of the pack, it can be very powerful. So if they let it go too far that way, out of balance, back can be dangerous. Middle can be dangerous. Front can be dangerous. But so for me, front in business, front in with the dogs, middle in. Go with my friends, with Cassie, with we're gonna hang out. I like to. I'm a natural middle, just so you know. Natural for sure in the middle, like fun, happy-go-lucky. Let's mess around, joke, laugh, this, and then I go to the back when I'm learning and studying. I go to the back with Caesar a lot. Sometimes I go to the middle with Caesar. So Caesar, a lot of times with me and Caesar, my relationship with him, he's front and I'm back, or he's front and I'm middle is really what it is. So that's what it is. And then when he starts talking about dogs or certain things I really want to know, I go to the back. Just let me sit there. I just want to hear this and accept and listen to it and feel it, right? And then after, let's just say the workshop's over for the day and it's time. Hey, you want to go get sushi? Yeah, let's go. And we go get sushi, and then we're laughing and fucking around, having a good time. And we do that.
Yeah.
And then I get to see, and then Caesar comes to the middle. So we stay in the middle together. We mess around, And then sometimes I'll go to the front and I'll pay for it. Right? So it's like we're learning all the positions and understanding where to be in what moments. Because what I'm saying is this is a huge part of teaching. And Akash, I'd like to hear your info on this too. But for me, in a session, I go front, middle, and back all throughout the session.
Right.
All throughout. Right. For the most part, I'm in the front.
Absolutely.
And I'm guiding it and leading the session. But when someone's sharing something about me to me, let's just say, hey, my husband passed away last year. I want to hear this. Let's go through it. Because likely that person has not been able to truly share with someone who's attention and listening to them, right? So I give them that. I want to hear you. I want to understand you and feel you. And then let's just say it goes there and they're feeling a little down, and we just talked about the husband who passed and I'm not feeling that good. And I go, but what a day it is outside. And like something funny or a joke or whatever to bring the change in energy, right? And then now I go back to the front. Let's go get this dog out and let's go crush this shit. And they're like, yeah, let's do it, So being able to go to all different positions. That's a great one for you, Akash. I don't know if you ever heard it that way, but that's why I know you obviously followed Caesar from the beginning. And for me to like say what he told me directly and then share that with you, of really learning all the positions, understanding where your natural one is, and then figuring out where do I need to be right now with this human. It's because then you're truly in the moment. This person needs back right now. This person needs middle right now. They need direction. They need front right now,
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There is. So I guess this great person called as Satguru.
Who is it? Yes.
Sadhguru.
Yes, and he studied the Jiddu guy, supposedly. So look him up too. I don't know.
Yogic science. So he also keeps saying that you have to first surrender to a situation, only then you can lead the situation, right? Any sort of situation. So if you talk about me, naturally, it would be a match. I'm naturally middle of the pack kind of a guy, happy-go-lucky, fun-loving guy. But I'm also a kind of front runner, and I kind of did a lot of mistakes back in high school and colleges where I used to like just be in the front. But then what I was missing was the most important part was being in the back. And then when I kind of, got into the philosophical aspect of it and, got to know about Satguru and all these aspects, and I started stopping myself from getting into the back. And then I realized that there is such a big world, that you need to know about, you need to understand about, and you need to surrender to the situation, only then you can lead the situation. So I always give this, what I do in my model, basically, when I do the private sessions, the first session is a theory session. And since COVID times has been a pattern that I do it online. So today was that first session. So in that session, it's all about me being in the back.
That's correct.
I just tell them just talk. Because, and I don't strategize anything. I just go in the moment.
Like you're living in the moment and trying to understand.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes. So I firstly get an idea of what kind of energy these guys are projecting, the families, the people, And once I get an idea of it, what's happening, what's actually triggering it. So it's all about also convenience. I cannot make a structure for them which they're not comfortable with, because then they'll just be doing it for the sake of doing it.
Right.
Right. So I cannot just make a hard and fast. So there are things that needs to be told, like you have to do it, but there are things that I need to make sure that they are also comfortable doing.
Right.
Right. And that is also, I guess, initially Reyna asked, it becomes a little harder with people, but that's what you have to surrender to your clients first.
Yes.
And then you can lead them into the right way.
100%.
Right? So that is what I kind of end up doing, and it's been working so far.
That's fantastic. It's fantastic. It's really what it is. And Reyna, that's what he said there is, in my opinion, spot on. It's being able to go. That's what I do. I do a very similar thing, whether that's in person or on Zoom or whatever the thing is in the beginning. This is how I usually do it. Is usually start happy-go-lucky. So I come right from the beginning. Hey, welcome to the ranch, all that kind of shit, right? So, and I'm actually really feeling great because it's my natural. I'm naturally in the middle. Welcome. Let's have fun today and let's learn. Let's do this together. That kind of thing, right? They come in. I'm already going to the back because I start observing. How did they get out of the car? How did they put the leash? Where was the dog sitting in the car? All these. This is why I say, like, I'm sure you feel like this. For us in the U.S., it's FBI, like the Federal Bureau of Investigation. We investigate. We are investigating. But most people don't look at any of that shit. They just say, oh, the dog reacts on leash. Let's just deal with that. And put an e-collar and correct them. Or put food and make them look away. I'm like, what? That's like so shallow to me. It's so boring. It's like, it doesn't really do anything. It's not even a relationship, But let's see. Did you notice that when you were driving that your husband was sitting in the front seat and you sat in the back with the dog? Did you notice that? What do you think about that? Right? And they're like, oh, I was just sitting in the back. I'm like, let's look at that because that's actually part of the relationship right there. There's something there. Why are you sitting in the back? Oh, just Okay. It's typical human thing, right? They're just appeasing us. So really, why are you sitting in the back with that dog? Because I feel bad for him. How did that feel to let that out? You know what I mean? Pretty good. And the reason, what I realized, this is good for you to hear, Reyna, is in the world, a lot of these people are so prone and so used to and so conditioned, I should say, by society to being attacked for being vulnerable or being wrong or making a mistake, like you said, right? Mm-hmm. So you make a mistake and that's what you're feeling that. Society has told you, if you make a mistake, we're going to fucking come after you. And it's worse than ever right now in this cancellation shit. Worse than ever. They're going, I mean, I don't know. Look, regardless of the views and politics and all that crap, what they're doing to Joe Rogan, in my opinion, is horrible. They're trying to cancel that dude. They're trying to cancel him because he just has a show that he talks stuff on and has conversations with people. And the people who don't like the conversations are saying, you can't speak. To me, that's a real, real problem because that's control. How are we going to be able to actually have conversations and move forward and make, so they're saying now what we're going to do because we don't like what you're saying or we even though it may be true, we don't like it. So emotionally we have power and all the things we need. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to remove you. So let's go back into your history and find any mistakes that you've made in your time. And then this way we can try to but I think the public is now becoming in this cancel culture and all this, starting to become aware to that and seeing how come everyone's being silenced? What is that? Even if it's a politics thing, to me, whatever view I have on things, if the other side is being silenced, I'm like, this is not good. And I don't even see it as the other side. By the way, we're all people. You know what I mean? We're all energy and everything. Yes. So I don't even pick a side or any of that shit. I'm just saying, can't we have a conversation about this and actually but everyone, again, this is also a thing that dogs are trying to teach us. We're coming with this past. And it's a lot of times the thinking and thoughts and ideas of other people, not ourselves. We just take people's word for it. Or we were conditioned by our parents or people in childhood to be a certain way, and we just go with it for life. But to me, it's actually becoming aware of that. That's right now, I feel like we're meditating because we're becoming aware of that together. Right? We're seeing that. We're in this moment. I'm not thinking about other things now, blah, blah. We're here. So to me, this is what I was saying. And this is the Akash, this is what the guy Jiddu Krishnamurti talks about is instead of going to a place and I'm going to go to that room and go meditate, right? It's almost like a form of escapism. I'm just going to go meditate and then go be in chaos and disorder for the rest of the day. It should be at all times. So when you said when you started to feel the fear, look at the fear is what I'm saying, right? So it's I started feeling some fear towards, saying the wrong thing to people. And then what humans we're so good at is just being distracted and moving on to the next thing. Instead of staying with that fucking fear, let me look at that thing. Because if you have the courage, this is my thought. If you have the courage, if you bring in courage in the face of fear, you're now in courage. You're not in, you're in the vibration of courage and confidence. You're not in fear.
Right.
So to me, that's what we should be, is being able to see it, see the fear and really look at it. So Reyna, those are things that have tremendously helped me. And it really helped me, Akash, with the dogs too. Of when, I don't know if you have it, but like with me, we're also an animal. So when it was like earlier in my career and let's just say it's a German Shepherd is showing his teeth at me and growling, it's like, fuck, I am in the primal state right now. There's no help. There's no anything that's there. And I'm feeling this like, wow, like inside of me, like this fight, flight, avoid, surrender thing right away. Like, what do I do? Yeah. It's like nature just slapped you right in the face. And so how many people have not experienced that moment with a dog? Because that, in my opinion, that experience with a dog of being able to truly be with a dog. These guys say that I'm like, I go into like some zone or some shit when I get with a dog. Like I'm like gone because I'm truly with them. So what if we could do that? I can be truly with fear. Maybe with that thing and look at that thing and connect. Let me see what that is. Now by looking, to me, just looking at it, not judging it, not articulating it, not justifying it, not whatever. Just looking at it is already the change.
Yeah.
And by the way, anyone who's going to talk shit, to you is not doing better than you or not doing more than you. For sure. I can tell you that out of my own fucking experience. 100%.
I've stopped thinking about it. Earlier, it used to affect me a bit.
Me too.
Then now I've stopped.
Dude, I used to see it and it would affect me to the point. And this is what we do as humans. This is why news, they put all the bad shit because it gets our attention. Yeah. So someone would say, hey, Steve, pack leaders bullshit, packs are bullshit, Caesar sucks, he's abused, and I'd be like, and it would consume me. How could you think this? And but that was still because I hadn't grown yet, you know? And you learn, and we're learning throughout. Because you see these things and you learn from other people. What do you think about this? Well, let me ask you, we're looking at it. What type of person takes time out of their day? Like, look at what we're doing. We're doing shit right now. We're doing things. What kind of person says, I got to get off. Guys, I got to go because I got to get back to my phone of trying to bring other people down. You know, like, what? Hey, I got to go tear this other person's building down because therefore then my building will look a little bit taller. I'm like, fuck, that's one way to do it. Or you could just focus all your energy on building the biggest building. And by the way, if you can, help others build their buildings too. That's what we're doing right here. We're helping each other build our buildings. This is what we're doing. But there's people in the world who would be attacking Reyna. Oh, she doesn't know shit about dogs. She shouldn't even be trying, blah, blah, and keep her down. You know? Akash, you haven't even met Caesar. How dare you think you could, that's what people would be doing, right? But you're doing it. You're going to the face of fear and just doing it. I'm facing it. I'm doing it. Why do I have to not do it? You know? Because fear says not to. And society has taught us that. So that's, to me, if someone said, what is society projecting in 2022? Or what is like the river? What is the river of like society doing? Fear and anger. That's it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where's love?
Experienced...
We need love.
Yeah, absolutely. I have personally experienced this, one of the attacks, like a long time back when I used to volunteer with shelters I've mentioned, right?
Yeah.
So there was this one shelter here, pretty prominent one. I went there, I said that I want to volunteer. And the only thing I used to do earlier was just walk the dogs. Like I said, so walking the dogs, grooming them, making sure that when the treatment is getting done and some of them are a little wild, aggressive, calming them down, holding them in a certain way, calming massages. But the walks really kind of helped me build that communication bond with dogs, understanding leash pressure, leash guidance, what I like to call it. So that lady that time rejected, saying that, no, this doesn't work like this. It doesn't happen like this. This is not reality. The pack thing doesn't work. This is a little cruel. This is a little like this and that. I guess a couple of months back, that same lady, not realizing that it's me now, called me up that the dogs at the shelter are having fights. What can I do? And that was the moment I was like, I'm doing things right. So it was almost ironic that she came back to me. Of course, I wasn't like, hey, I was the guy who was there back then. I didn't want to do that. I just helped her out and I just moved on. But internally, I felt it.
Yeah.
Something's right going on.
It was like something that happened in like reality that like made you understand you were on the right journey. And you know, it's funny. I do that. Like those life events happen a lot of times, and I do that a lot of times. The last Caesar, I'm doing all this stuff, and I'll say, "Hey, what can I be doing better? What else can I be doing? Is there anything else I can do better?" You know, it's just always looking at it. How can I be a little bit better? But those events, I mean, those are the best. I get that. I'm sure you can imagine. I get all that shit. The same thing. It's like you're there, and it's like, oh, you want to hear a great one? You'll like this one. So there was a girl who earlier, it had to have been 7-8 years ago. She calls me, right? She was like, she had scheduled a call that it had to be private. No media, no problem. She goes, okay, so I am a certified positive trainer. And she was honest. And I how most people are like, I don't want to talk to you, right? Or like, I'm not going to talk to Steve, but she was curious, curiosity, right? So look, and she couldn't help but see what was happening. So she was involved in a rescue that was all positive. And she said, I'm having a really, really hard time with the amount of dogs that we're killing. She goes, I feel like there's something else. She goes, and I would see your stuff. And if these people knew that I even looked at your stuff, they immediately. So that's the definition of closed-minded. We will not hear one other view on this. Absolutely not. Even though this is the dangers of lack of awareness, of understanding and things like that, is that we'll just continue killing them because our beliefs are this, made up from somebody else, you know?
Right.
So I'm like, what if we actually looked at that situation and saw what was happening? So she says to me, what do you do? What do you think about this? What is your thing on an e-collar? What do you think about that? And I'm like, look, what those people are going to tell you, what their propaganda is what I do with dogs, what Akash does with dogs, what Reyna, what you do. What you guys do with dogs is you intimidate the hell out of them, you scare them, and they only comply out of, what do they call it? There's learn helplessness. That's the one they love too. That's the only reason that they listen is because there's no other option but to listen, and they're terrified. So
they're scared of you.
They're scared of you. Yes, and they're good at manipulation. Those people too, because if a dog who is in a submissive or surrender state does look similar to a fearful dog. So they can.
It's a very fine line.
Yes.
It's a very fine line.
Yeah. So they package it and say, look at how fearful he is, and people say, yeah, I've seen fearful dogs, and there's fearful dogs everywhere. So they go, oh yeah, he's fearful too. No. That's respect he's showing, and he's being in a surrender state. This is a great state that he's in. You know. So we started talking about things, and I think she was fascinated about how open-minded I was and how calm I was and how I didn't like attack her way or go after. Isn't it interesting that the positives are supposed to be the most positive people, yet are the attacking, anger, like I'll destroy you people too? It's like I'm confused by that. You know, you guys don't see that, but yeah. So anyway, she gets to the whole thing. So anyway, we go through the whole thing. I said, look, this is my recommendation to you. I said, they're going to tell you what to learn and listen to. My recommendation is to look at it all. Take a look for yourself, but you look yourself. Don't look at it through them, through what they're saying, their emotions, their traumas from the past, but whatever their thing is. Look at it yourself like you're looking at it for the first time with that curiosity. I'm going to look at this. I'm going to look at what they're talking about, this psychology thing, with this leadership thing. How come these guys aren't killing dogs? How come they're not putting all these dogs to sleep? How come they rehabilitate all these dogs? I have to look at this, right? So she looked at it. I said, learn it all. So what did she do? She went right to Caesar's stuff. She went right to my stuff. She went right to all that stuff. She started going to workshops of the opposite, which were even more compulsion trainers. There's actually people who you probably know that she went to. She was like, that was a lot, but I got to see it. It was too much. And I agree that it's too much, right? But then now, so what happens? I find out she lives very close over here where I am. And I haven't talked to her in years. She reaches out to me and has been running a business, rehabilitating dogs for like the last 5 years out of her house, crushing it. And that's not putting any dogs to sleep, And what do you think that community did to her? Destroyed it. Get the fuck out. Not allowed to be here.
Yeah.
Because we're so positive. You know? So it's an amazing thing to be able to see what an open mind can do, what a curious mind can do, you know? And how much ability we have within ourselves and how many others hold us down because of the truth is their fear, their anger, their insecurities and all that are trying to keep you there so you can't grow. So my point is, Reyna, is just, and I'm sure Akash will agree, just look at that and see that for what it is. So when I see someone come on my page and say, you know, pack is a bunch of bullshit. Who puts pack in their name? It's all fake. It's been proven, science. You know, it's the standard package things that they're doing, just repeating some other shit.
Right.
What I used to initially would be offended and take it. take it as if that they're telling the truth. But that's not me seeing it. That would be me looking at it through my past and my conditioning, right? And my fears and my stuff. I said, let me just truly be in this moment and look at this. And that's where I can't. I said, look, this person just clearly doesn't understand what's going on and is going through something, obviously. So I'm not going to join in that thing. There's no reason. I'm not going to sit there and have an argument with someone who's I put that post with someone who's committed to not understanding you. There's no point. You're wasting time. It's a complete waste of time. And that's the thing I would also say about people. When you're going to help people, the person has to be open-minded and has to want to learn and do it. You can't make people do anything. That's something that I learned probably within the last year. I was doing it with my friends, my family, my parents, my brother, the employees here, everybody. Like, I was so excited about like all this view of life and the dog psychology and like, you know, Wim Hof breathing and cold showers and life is I'm so excited by this. I have so much energy from it. Like, you should be doing it too, right? And then when I didn't do it, it started really fucking me up. I'm like, what's wrong with me? I started going into it, and then it was just another awareness of like, some people are not ready for that right now. So you can try to influence them, but say right now they're not ready. See it for what it is, but always have the door open. Be open-minded if they come back and say, hey, what was that thing you said about that cold shower thing? What was that thing you said about, look at that girl who came. She was following my stuff, and then she came and said, what is it with this, like, this whole dog psychology thing you're talking about? Oh, I'm right here to talk to you. Here I am. I could have done, Akash, what you did with the lady at the shelter. I could have been like, oh, now you want to come see us now? Now you want to work with us? Now you get it? And been all like that. But then I wouldn't have been living the nature way.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not living what I'm preaching, what we're saying, what we believe life to be. So I love this shit, by the way.
Yeah,
this fucking podcast, like this thing, like we came up.
This is great.
We were thinking of like all different media things and things like that. This has been fantastic though, because I think that I said it in the last one. This to me can be a way of like an example of what the world could be like. I mean, it's just three of us. Yeah. We got California, we got New Jersey, we got India, all connected right now, all sharing, all helping each other, and all on our own journeys, right? But how can we influence each other in a good way on each other's journey, and not how can I bring Akash down so Steve looks better dog trainer? Fuck that shit. Who cares? I want him to be the best ever in India. Yeah. You know, I want you to be amazing in California, wherever we go, because then you getting better, Akash getting better, me getting, all of us getting better, the dog's getting better, humanity, life is getting better. That's what it is to me. I was the king of like bringing other people down.
It all comes down to helping out others. You know, that's the main focus.
And helping yourself first.
Yes.
So you have to see it. Like, let me see what this is. Let me understand. Let me help myself. Let me deal with my past. This shit that's holding me back. These things that I never looked at because I just want to avoid them. And I have this theory, this belief, which is bullshit, that it's just going to go away. No, you have to look at that thing and then it will go away. That's it. Mm-hmm. That's real courage to me. All these people who walk around and act all tough and talk all this shit and everything, that's not real courage. That's not real confidence. Real confidence is I want to look at this thing that happened to me and I want to like understand. I just want to look. I just want to look at this thing. I've been so fearful to look at it, but I'm going to look. It's hard. Yeah, I know, but you're confident. You got it. You can do this, you know? And that's what sets people free. It's like, get rid of that baggage so you can see life for like the first time in like Akash, like you said, like that curious way. I'm so interested in what's that and what's this, and wow, it's so fascinating. How much fascination there is to life. How amazing it can be. You know?
Absolutely.
Wild, man. Absolutely. This has been an amazing episode.
So good.
Before I get off, I want to say, say his Instagram.
Yeah, at Dog Mantra.
Is it dog_mantra, right?
Yeah, dog_mantra_.
Got it.
We'll
put that in the caption so we have it there.
Yeah.
Raina, this has been amazing. You know, Raina, send me a message and I can put you in touch with some people in Los Angeles who you could probably volunteer with, who are really good dog people.
Yeah, definitely.
I'd really appreciate it.
Yeah, I got a lot of connections in SoCal because Caesar's place is out there, so there's a lot of people out there. So we'll definitely connect you with somebody you can grow. Feel free to message me anytime on the Instagram. I try to answer all the messages. I'm not the best with it, but I do my best with it.
Steve, I was just thinking that maybe we, after having done so many episodes, we can actually have the people from past episodes join. You know what I'm saying? Like almost like a
That'd be
reunion-
cool, like a
reunion,
group class, like a
yeah,
group like
10
talk or something. Like
10
That
people
would be
join
great.
us, and it'll be
Yeah.
like Akash, it'll be Reyna, it'll be people that from the past episodes.
yeah, that'd be really
Yeah.
cool. And then maybe we could even do it like in the future, like we could do a more round table, like where we bring on like Akash and another person, like another like we bring on like art or something.
Yeah,
with
exactly.
Akash, you know, like
Exactly.
we're getting all these different things going on
Yes.
at once. But yeah, I really like this format though, because then we
Yeah.
get to really understand Akash, we get to really
Exactly.
understand Reyna and you know.
Yes.
So it's really good.
Really good.
This has been amazing. Thank you, Akash. We'll let you go to bed now. I'm sure it's like midnight or some shit over there.
Yeah, definitely.
You're
I would
barely
just- I
keeping
would
your
just
eyes
like to end
open.
it with- No. I've just, it's like I'm getting used to this kind of lifestyle, but now I'm also planning to slow it down a bit because it's getting a little too much also.
Yeah.
Like in between, I have been like working a lot. Like I used to do 4 or 5 sessions a day, but then I toned it down to 2 to 3 so that I can make it more efficient. Like earlier, it was like, I got the boost. People started coming in and this, and I want to do more.
Yeah.
Like you said, that focusing
And
on
then you
that.
burn out.
Then I
And
was
you
like,
hit the
oh, slow
burnout.
down.
That burnout thing, and
Yes,
then you have to like
slow down,
recover for
slow
a
down,
while.
slow down.
Yeah.
Yes, like that. So I just wanted to ask you, how far is Florida and New Jersey?
Florida to New Jersey, it's a flight. You would have to probably fly. It would be like a 2.5 hour flight.
10-hour drive or something.
Yeah,
10
it's like
plus.
10, 11
hours.
hour drive or something like that.
Yeah, because I've applied for US visa. I actually got a scholarship from ISCP. Y'all know about ISCP?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Amazing
International
organization.
Institute, yeah.
Yep.
So I've actually won the scholarship of Captain Haggerty program, and I'm just waiting for my visa to get done. If it gets done by September, then I would definitely come down and visit you. I would love to do that.
That's
So when you
great.
get your visa and you get to do what? So you're trying to do it with the scholarship. You get to go what? Just to come to the U.S. and learn.
So it's basically the scholarship I've got for the conference. It's for the conference.
I see. And where's the conference in Florida?
It's in Jacksonville.
Okay.
Jacksonville.
So that's like down in the Panhandle.
Yeah.
It's like up in. And when is that conference?
It's 7th September, I guess.
Oh, in
First or
July.
second week.
Okay. I'm going down
Yeah.
that way in March to help some influencer, but
But it's still very difficult because the consulates are still not open here completely for fresh visas. Especially the visa I'll be getting, it will be a tourist B1B to business and tourist visa.
right.
So once I get it, it will be for 10 years. So even if in case I don't get to go and attend the conference, I would definitely make a trip over there, and I would love to meet
Absolutely.
you guys.
We would love to
and
have
a lot
you.
of other trainers.
Now we would
I've
love to have you
made a
come to the
commitment.
ranch and hang out and see what we're doing here. You'd love it.
That'd be awesome, dude.
Definitely.
One last question I
It'll be
have
an
for you is how
Yeah.
are the people responding to the pandemic in India? The pandemic. Or whatever.
It's basically it was a lot of chaos earlier. By this time the second wave hit us, it was really bad. Right now people have just kind of literally given up. Like whatever happens, we'll see. Like people are so lost it. They've kind of adjusted to this lifestyle now.
Yeah.
So they're like, we have to live with this.
Yeah.
So everyone's kind of surrendered to.
Right.
So
Because they were
everything's
saying,
normal
I was
back to
reading about
normal.
India, and India like didn't it seemed like they didn't go too crazy with like the mandates and the protocols and all that stuff, and then they ended up being one of the countries like the lowest death rates out of everybody. It's pretty
Yeah.
interesting.
We had that. Second wave hit us bad, as in we had a short of oxygen, and there was some chaotic situation that happened. A lot of politics got involved into it. That's why the second wave got a little bit chaotic. But then things got under control, and people are really very understanding here that way and very helpful, especially in Mumbai. People are great. People are amazing. Like,
But
you come
are-
to Mumbai, sorry?
If I came to Mumbai, would I even know there's a pandemic going on?
No.
No, right? It's
You
just like normal life there, pretty much. Yeah.
Just like,
Yeah, it's pretty much normal life, pretty much normal lifestyle. So right now they were talking about third wave, so schools and colleges were shut, but they've again resumed it because the cases were kind of managed.
Yeah.
I would just like to give you a data, like it's great, it's so crazy out here. So the Mumbai local, the heart of the city, the kind of trains that goes to the how you have the metro over there. So the metro is working here, but we call it Mumbai local trains, if you've heard about it. They literally carry 85 lakh, which is 8 million people every day.
I've seen
Up
this
and down
shit.
all the
I've
route.
seen it. It's like the people are
8
hanging
million
off the
people,
side and everything, and
Hanging off the exactly.
Wow.
I've personally experienced that myself while I was traveling to college. But it's crazy. It's crazy. It's one of the experience everyone should get when they come down
I've
here.
seen it, and I saw something similar. I don't know if it was China or Japan, but it was one of those countries that I saw, like on the subways in the morning. There's literally people on the outside pushing the pack, like pushing the group into into the jamming them into the train. It's crazy, crazy.
Right.
One thing I realized that we
crazy.
never finished though, this is the last thing we have to talk about, is the pack thing. We never said that people go against the pack and say it's not a real thing and all that. I want to be clear with everybody. This is my thing on it. Pack is just a word you can call it whatever the hell you want. Call it a family, call it a group, call it a social order, call it Mumbai, India. I don't give a shit what you call it. Just understand what it is. And without a doubt, look, this is what Caesar said, and I agree. It's like, at the most basic level, a dog is looking for food, water, shelter. There's a group of them, and someone's going to lead when they go do any of those activities.
Right.
At the most simple way to say it. Call that whatever you want to do. You want to call a family a pack? Call it a fine, then call it a pack. Call it a family leader dogs. That's what we're calling it. Whatever. Just call. Doesn't matter. This is where people, and this is why I love this. The Jadoo, Chris Minority guy, he talks about how language gets so in the way of understanding.
Absolutely.
So how people hear that word pack and they emotional reaction already.
But
It's
they
like,
can
what
call
is
it social. But they can call them social animals. They can call them social animals. Those are the same people who say that they're not pack animals, but they are social animals. We agree that they're social animals. They're not pack animals. It's just twist of words.
So let's just call
And
it
I really
social
can't
then.
understand that.
Okay, and then this is actually the last thing. So this is one. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm enjoying this conversation.
So
I'm
look what
literally
happened.
enjoying this conversation.
Look what happened, right? There was a period of time I really went back and really looked at this and researched it. I'm like, why is it that these people go so after Caesar, right? So I looked at it and I was like, so I saw that back before Caesar, the whole idea of this positive training only thing was really picking up steam, like big time. It was like really picking up a lot of steam, right? And, the trainers were going to people's houses, and the whole idea of these compulsion trainers, the heavy correction ones, people were like, we don't want to hurt our dogs. And we just want to do it in a nice way. And the public was ignorant to it. They didn't understand. So they wanted to do something nice for their dog. So they would hire these people, and it would be the typical thing. Oh, your dog's reactive. So what we're going to do is just distract them with food, and he's reactive, he's aggressive, he won't be able to be by dogs, and that's just how it ends. And that's after like 14 sessions. And people were like, oh, okay. And then all of a sudden, here comes Dog Whisperer TV show. And then on TV, they're seeing these highly aggressive dogs calming down, following, and completely shifting on TV. So then these clients would be like, so why is it that you're telling me all this stuff and but this guy's saying that? I feel like I need to look at that. Like, what is that all about? Like, why can he do that? So so if your whole career, your whole money making, all your stuff was based on a certain thing, and then here comes a guy saying, we can do this totally different and way better. Of course, they're going to go try to destroy that. Just like we said, they're doing to Joe Rogan right now, by the way. Because he's bringing on people that are just giving opinions and telling what their truths are, or maybe potentially the truth. And that's fucking dangerous to people who are promoting propaganda, lies, for all in the name of money and power and fame too. Right. You see it? Right. So to me, that's like something that I really explored, and I saw that I was trying to like put sense to why does he take, he's such an amazing human. I know him personally. I've known him for a decade personally. He's an amazing human being. How do you take such fucking flack? How do you take such heat? Why is that? So I really looked at it, and that's, in my opinion, that's why it was. It was we can't let people know about the truth, or it was that they're too ignorant to it and too emotionally invested in it to actually see it. So that's why, again,
fearful of it too, almost,
and not even living the real thing with a dog. So those people, I would say, look at what your dog's trying to tell you. Just stop throwing treats at this thing. Really understand the psychology of that animal so you can understand yourself. Therefore, you can understand life. That's it to me. That's the whole thing. It's so we complicate everything. I'm like, we're humans. Keep it simple. That's it. This has been freaking amazing.
Yeah,
by the way. Go ahead. I want to hear.
You have to. Just since we all are getting late, I guess. So I hope I'm not.
Go. I'm enjoying this too much.
Yeah. So, no. So I just like to add on to this is that one of my recent clients. So he's part of our workout member, and he brings his pit bull at our center, and I saw him on a prong collar. So I was intrigued. Like in India, we have extremely heavily compulsion trainers, like I told you, or positive only trainers. So I was like, okay, who uses prong collar here? Let me know. Like, so I tried to figure out who's this trainer. So she's an amazing trainer here. She's learned some training from USA, and she's come down here. She only does board and train over here, and she does amazing work. Absolutely no doubt about it. So she had taken him in for board and train, and amazing obedience, amazing obedience. Okay. But he came to us for our group program. Workout, he came because he stays nearby and the workout is helping him out drain his energy. But he came for the group program and socialization specifically for his dog reactivity. Now, his reactivity was no aggression at all. It was just arousal.
Yes.
He's a dominant male who's, kind of growing, his hormones are growing, he's just turning one.
It's like
And
me,
it's
wherever he
mostly
is.
arousal. Yeah. And because he can't control that impulse, he sometimes throws it on dogs. Try to pin them down and that, like that. So he came to us for that. We removed the prong. We put him on a slip leash. He attended like 4 group sessions and pack walks. That pack walks helped him so much that he actually saw his dog playing with another dog for the first time.
Right.
So he understood one of our happy-go-lucky dog. He was actually a happy-go-lucky pup. He helped get him into that play mode rather than dominant arousal state of mind where he would go. And so this guy was so amazed. He understood everything. He spent a lot of amount on that. So this trainer charges a bomb. She's here in one of the high-end areas and charges a bomb. And he was like, I've spent so much money, and it was like a month or month and a half. And this just 5 sessions and such a transformation. How does this happen? I told you, have you seen or have you looked at yourself the first time you came in? So first time when he came and I approached his dog, he's like, be careful, don't touch him here, don't touch him here. So he had so much of fear, and nobody told him that there's something wrong with you. You're having a power breed, and you're walking in with so much of fear. You're walking with that something might happen to someone else and he might harm.
Right.
You cannot live like this.
Right.
So the moment he started taking charge, after like four sessions, the 5th one, he saw him playing with another dog, and he is like in that happy-go-lucky, friendly state of mind, no reactivity. So it's just about teaching people to change their energies, and when people see this happening, they change their state of mind. They understand, okay, this is real, this happens, it actually works.
It's why.
So no matter what people.
Yes, it's like when I don't know if you've ever seen it, but sometimes I'll like have the dog set up, a dog's like reacting, going wild with its owner. I literally just walk over and just take the leash and walk over to the dog, and the dog turns around and tries to run back to their human. So that gives a human like, wow, how can you not see that? I'm like, here, kill the dog. And the dog's like, I don't know how to do this without my unstable human. And then, but that's the whole thing when the human can go and say like, wow, I don't know this. I'm coming from an open mind perspective. I'm curious and I need to understand. That's what they're going to be able to do. We need more of that in the world. And what you described was just dog training versus dog psychology. It's just the order of it. If he would have done you first and then sent it to that girl for the training shit, it would have been awesome. But go. This is what I'm trying to get people to understand. Do whatever. Training to me is obedience training. There's protection training, there's scent work, there's agility, there's a million things you can do, service work, all that stuff. Understand the psychology of a dog first, make sure that animal is fulfilled in his life, then go make it do all this other shit and heels and down. Right. Training is important, don't get me wrong. To me, it's just physical positions. Training is physical positions. Sits down, stay, calm, heel, there, over here, whatever. Yeah. But how are they doing it is psychology. Yes. So how are they doing it? Because that dog, how was that guy doing it? He was doing the shit. He was doing the positions, but how was he doing it? Aroused, frustrated, excited, not listening to his owner, leading position. That's how he was doing it. So how does he do it? And then how we want him to do it a certain way, teach him that way to do these things. It's like raising a kid. You raise a kid. You teach a kid to be a good kid. And then, you want to be a dog trainer? You want to do this? You want to do that? Go do that then. That's the skill. That's like the thing. But but at the end, let your energy, your core be great.
Right.
Thank you so much, Akash. This has been amazing having you on, bro.
Absolutely.
We'll definitely do this again. We'll stay in touch, and we got to do something. I want to get you out here, and we'll do some stuff at the ranch or something when you come out.
Definitely. I would love to.
Keep up the good work, and hit me up if there's any questions, anything. We got to get you out to LA too to do the workshop with Caesar.
I would be great. I'm just trying to get my finances together so that I can just come there one day and attend that.
Well, send me a message and we'll see if I can do something for you with that. We'll see what we can do.
Definitely.
Awesome.
Reyna,
thank you so much for coming on. This has been amazing. You were awesome today. I really appreciate you talking about your fears, the things you were going through. I think people are going to get a ton of value out of what you said today and on your journey.
That's great.
So I would like to thank Reyna for joining in, and it was great actually knowing you and hearing stuff from you. And it's always great to see everyone who's everyone out there just want to share it out and want to learn more and want to express more, and it's just great.
It
So
takes courage.
we're
It takes
all in this together.
yeah, it takes courage to get in. Let's how about this? Why don't we start? Yeah, Akash, you're here. Reyna, you're here. Why don't we make the pack, or whatever we want to call our family of dog people and energy people that we have here? Why don't we make love louder? Why don't we make curiosity louder, confidence louder, calmness louder, happiness, joy louder? Let's make that louder, not bringing each other down, anger, hate, fear, jealousy, all that envy, all that bullshit. Let's, as a pack, let's promote that shit. Because that's what we're doing. What you just said there was like, it felt great to see that. So you're promoting that with her. And then let's just keep doing that. That's the way the energy can go forever.
Real quick, Reyna, I want to make sure that you feel like you got a lot of value out of it. Is
Yeah.
there anything else that you have on your mind before we leave?
Yeah, me and Akash talked a lot of shit today. You can feel the passion. We're excited about this stuff. You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, one more thing, really quick. Actually, sorry, my throat's getting a little dry. So I've been having like this confidence issue again with bigger dogs. Like I've actually puppy raised a standard poodle for an nonprofit organization, and he was a huge boy. But as he grew, I started noticing that my confidence was getting lower and lower. And that was something I wasn't really able to recover from, in a sense, because I wanted to end it off like on a strong note. But that experience just stayed with me, you know, and I just wanted to like keep overcoming that hurdle of working with bigger dogs, because I am, besides me being a skinny person, I am quite small. So I don't know if it has to do with like a physical sense contribution to it.
I mean, instinctually it would.
Yeah.
That's a big, powerful animal. So instinctually, if you're the larger dog, it's gonna your instincts are gonna be telling you the consequences of this larger, more powerful animal could be higher.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's like your energy needs to be bigger, though.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. You're talking about Adam thinking a point. You're talking about your physical size, but you can have big energy. By the way, in case you didn't know, Caesar's I'll make fun of him a little bit. What Caesar's a little short Mexican guy.
Yeah, but dude, he has big.
Yeah.
But he's got some big ass fucking energy. I can tell you that. Way more than me. Huge energy. Like you go near him, it's like, no matter what, morning, what's up? What are we doing now? You want to go plant shit? You want to go do this? So let's go get the emus out for a walk right now. The what, Caesar? Yeah, we're gonna go walk the emus.
Oh my
okay.
Have you seen him in like high happy-go-lucky mode?
Oh, it's the best.
His energy is like crazy.
Party. So when we do the workshop at the last thing, we do like the graduation, right? And we do it. It's a big party. Literally, Caesar. We bring everybody up by like the patio area. You've probably seen it on Dog Whisperer and stuff. And there's a big bar there, and Caesar's there making what he calls the Caesaritas for everybody, the margaritas. And it's like a big party.
yeah.
We're playing music, and then the dogs are all out and everything. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Actually, I'm going out to the ranch on the 26th for a pack walk with Calvin.
Awesome.
So,
Calvin and
wow.
Andre are great. I've actually become really good friends with those guys over the year. I mean, I've known Caesar for a decade, so I've been on like the last 10 years of growth with those guys too. Like I literally consider them like my brothers. They're like stepbrothers, I guess you would call them or whatever. But
that's great.
yeah, they're like family to me. Like the Milans are definitely family to me. And just like I mean, at the end of the day, that's like I have my what do you call it? Like your intimate, real I guess a real bloodline family. Then I have my pack family, like my business family. I got the community family. I got my step family, which is like Caesar and all them. It's all. I guess we're talking about packs again, which we're not allowed to talk about. So I should call it. Yeah. No, but you know what I'm saying. It's families. This is all family. We're all connected.
Yeah.
Just look, at the end of the day, we are all connected. So the idea that I'm separate from Akash, separate from Reyna, separate from Adam, separate from you is already showing the disorder in somebody's life. We are all connected, 100%.
Sorry.
You have to be optimistic about it.
To go back to that point, Reyna, you feel good with that answer of like your energy just has to be bigger, basically, and you can work on the confidence.
I would recommend also like like I call them low dogs, but like easier dogs. Work with easier dogs, more happy-go-lucky, more one. Work with like low-level excitement. but like happy-go-lucky, goofy dogs. Those are the ones that you can learn a lot because that can help you be with them and be desensitized to being with a larger dog. Another thing I would tell you is that you don't have to work with big dogs. There's a thing that happens a lot in the dog world. Akash kind of talked about it actually. Is people come in super ambitious. I'm going to be the best of everything, which is great to have that mindset, right? But they take on a lot, right? And then they say, I'm going to start working with all this aggression. Then an event happens, they get bit, they get injured, something happens, and then it's a big traumatic event, and then they kind of can't move past that, right? So, and then what we see a lot at the workshop too is people who a lot of people want to get into it, and then I want to work with the most aggressive dogs. So I go, as someone who has, why? And I'm not asking in a judgmental way. I just really am understanding, why do you want to work with them? And a lot of them haven't really even looked into why they want to work with them. It's because they see as like, I guess Caesar did it, and it's the creme de la creme to work with aggression. I can tell you that working with serious aggression cases is an enormous amount of pressure. Enormous. It's a lot that's on the line there, and you have to be prepared and ready in all scenarios. So there's certain times where I'll be with my staff, and there's a scenario, a dog's growling at me, and I'm in it with that dog, and I tell them afterwards. They said, "What were you thinking there?" I said, "I wasn't. It was all instincts." But this is years and years and years and thousands of dogs that a lot of these other people haven't been with. Thousands of dogs and being in front of them, in it with them. You know what I'm saying? So be in it with them, with dogs who are not as high, not as extreme, not as whatever. Say, who are some easy dogs you have there, and master them. Right. Look, at the end of the day, you master easier dogs. Most of the public has pretty easy dogs, to be honest. Like you could have an amazing care business making what I'm doing of a camp here that is optimized for fulfilling a dog, exercising them, discipline, rules, boundaries, limitations, affection at the right times, all that fulfillment. You could do that. So I would just say be open-minded to all of it, because believe it or not, I'm moving way away from dealing with like aggression and stuff. Because I'm realizing in my life, on my journey, that by doing it that way, by only dealing with like the most aggressive dogs, yes, it was fulfilling to see a dog who had real issues, bit people, killed dog, whatever it was, be able to be back in society and be balanced and all that. It just was, with the whole, like the math of it didn't work for me, because I'm like, wow, we're killing, like Akash said, millions of dogs a year. Right. And I'm helping this one dog over this last 2-3 months. That math doesn't work out. In my lifetime, this is going to continue on. So what I said was, I have to get to the front of this shit. I got to get to the beginning. So I said, how can I start getting the puppies? How can I say younger, like people getting puppies? So then that's honestly a big part of the media came, is like, let's start educating people on this shit. So people know, and we could teach them from the beginning. We can prevent this shit from happening instead of intervening and dealing with it afterwards, right? Then I'm getting into, now I'm trying to match people, do compatibility with their dogs. So like Akash was saying, he does like the call before he even goes to the place. I'm trying to get the dog or get the people before they even select their dog, because compatibility is a huge freaking issue. So that's what I would say too about compatibility with you. Look, you have to understand yourself, right? Therefore, understand life. Once you have that, then you're going to truly understand where you need to go with the dog. So I would say you're in trying things out, testing, you're curious, you're seeing and be honest with yourself. Do you like this? Do I not like this? Is this something is this a fear that I'm having? Or is it, you're going to learn about yourself throughout working with those easy dogs while being desensitized to being around big dogs, understanding their psychology, understanding their body language, understanding what, working with other people. And then when you feel ready, I'm really leaning towards these, I really love working with this type of dog, with sensitive dogs. I love working with sensitive dogs. For me, sensitive dogs are a challenge. For you, it might be, you might be amazing at sensitive dogs, but then
actually
yeah.
Sorry. That's what I've noticed, at least for me. Like I've been able to connect and help out sensitive dogs quicker than what I have expected. So I think that's my strength. That's
great. So that like you would be someone that I would like for my company, that I'm like, okay, so I need someone who, when these dogs come in, for myself, right? I need someone when these dogs come in who can like link to them a little bit with this dog, because my energy is going to be too big for them. So you could go link to them, and then through me, and so that could be your specialty, is working with sensitive dogs that For me, for sure. I don't know about Akash, but for me, it's sensitive is a challenge for me. You give me a bully with aggression who wants like a front, like the excitement stuff, like reactivity, I'll bite you. Yeah, that's like. But when they're very sensitive to everything, that's harder for me. But that's what I'm learning about myself and overcoming. I mean, look, I grew up right by New York City. It's like Italian American thing. Like we're just like yeah. So of course, like the sensitive dogs will be like, whoa, dude, you're a lot, you know.
Yeah.
But again, I'm learning through them. Yeah. Akash, you wanted to say something there? I'm sorry.
I think you said it all. Just the thing that you just have to focus on what you want to do exactly. And a similar moment, I've had a trauma like this. I was bitten very badly by a dog. The scar is still here. I literally took a flesh out. It took months for me to recover. Somewhere nearby, similar place. So it took months for me to recover out of it. I kind of took a break also, so that I could just refocus on myself, kind of gain all my strengths. And like you said, rightly said, that start working with happy-go-lucky dogs who are much. So I started doing that.
Yeah.
So I started building my confidence back again. And once I was again into it, I just left it all on instincts. So nowadays, what I do is I'm actually literally practicing living in the moment.
Yeah.
Just going with the flow, living in the moment. We could call it go with the flow, and trust the instincts. That's what I've been doing.
Thinking is what prevents us from living in the moment.
Yes, absolutely.
So what I've learned myself is that when I get, because I'm a human, I've been conditioned to this fucking thinking thing that society taught us to do. Think all day long, which means we're not in the moment. The moment that I start getting into that and I catch it, that's already consciousness because I'm observing, right? I'm observe that happen. I'm back to this moment, seeing that. And then you just go, I actually go to then like observing like this glass. I'm like looking at it, but I look at it in such detail like it's the first time I ever saw it. So I'm actually, because then I'm back to being in the moment. Wow, it says Maddie. Did you ever know the crystal looks like that on there? And it says spa. I didn't even know we had spa on there. You know, like all those little things. Just observe that love sign in the back. Observe look. I've never really looked at this shirt. You know what happened? Me and Adam were talking about this, and there was a Fiji bottle there, and I was like saying this shit. I go, you know what's insane that I'm saying this? I made the example of looking at the Fiji bottle like it was the first time, and I realized I was fucking looking at the thing for the first time, really. I go, dude, I've never seen that on there. I never knew that flower was there. I never knew it said artisan. I'd never seen any of that, but I've seen it. I've seen it in eyes, but never actually saw it, looked at it, and really been there with it. So that's a skill of observation that, in my opinion, is the opposite of thinking, the opposite of past, the opposite of future is there now. Observation. Because then you can truly observe an animal. Can truly observe what that tree looks like. Wow, look at that bark and the light. It sounds crazy to people, but if I was saying this to my old self, my old self would have been like, bro, you're a weirdo. You need help, you know? Yeah. Now let me go back to making money and trying to hook up with girls and doing drugs and drinking and fucking around. It's like, who's the crazy one, by the way? You know? I think maybe that is actually the real one. That's what we were saying about the intellect too, intelligence. Maybe we are actually the intelligent ones on this planet, the most intelligent. We're not looking at IQ as intelligent. We're looking at intelligence of life.
Right.
Feel good, Reyna?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Keep me posted on your journey. Let me see if I can help you in any way. You can. I'm sure Akash would help you too on his, because he's been doing it. He's living it.
Definitely.
Awesome.
You can send me a message, Reyna. We can also be in touch. You can ask me anything.
I love it.
Yeah.
Anything that I can help with.
Amazing. Thank you, Akash.
Definitely.
Well, Akash.
Thank you both.
Akash, I'll tell you, keep up the hard work, man. I'm really grateful for you. I remember when the first time I saw your comment or message, I was like, wow, dude, this is like amazing what you're doing out there. And to hear your story, I think it's going to inspire a lot of people to be able to realize you can do it yourself. You just have to look within first. That's what the real thing is, looking within. And
I took a leap of faith.
Yes.
I took a leap of faith when I started it. It was like
you did what you did was, in the face of fear, you did a forced repetition of courage, which leads to confidence. Mark that shit down. Put that as a fucking clip, by the way. Reyna, thank you so much for coming on, Reyna. It's been amazing. Keep me posted on your journey. I hope you got a lot of value out of it today, and we wish you all the best with everything. Thank you again so much for coming on.
I did. Thank you.
Awesome.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you guys.
Steve.
Have an amazing day.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Yep,
For the pack here,
Great.
thank you guys for tuning in today. Stay calm and confident, and we will see you guys soon on the next episode of the Ask the Pack Leader Show.